Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
DC is better. Yes.
Chris, and
DC.
I'll just say Batman is better. Typically. Not Ben Affleck. Not Ben Affleck Batman.
Batman and what? What are you talking about?
Batman Begins.
Are you
in what way?
Batman Begins, the original Batman Returns. Should I continue?
You're talking about just Batman.
So?
Batman compared to what?
I mean, the Marvel universe is always the same characters, bruh. It's Captain America, it's Iron Man, it's Thor, it's the same. It's the same characters.
Every comic book series is going to have the same characters.
Okay, so if I say Batman, okay, it is what it is. The Superman movies.
What about Superman? What about Aquaman? What about Wonder Woman?
I mean, they're not very popular. They're not very popular. Superman is popular, but they always mess his movies up. I think he's had one good movie in their most recent.
You prefer DC Comics over Marvel Comics?
Movies.
But
only what I'm not talking volume. I'm not talking character variety. I'm not talking any of those things. If I take my favorite movie from both, it's probably Batman. It's probably Batman over Marvel.
The one with Christian Bale, or just every Batman movie ever?
Christian Bale. And
would Christian Bale be your favorite Dark Knight, or I guess Batman role, since he was the Dark Knight?
I really did like that movie a lot. I also really like the original Batman, and
like the original,
yeah.
where they're running with sound effects.
Yes,
it says "bong," you know that.
No. That's
like Adam West.
No, I'm talking about the movie Batman.
Shit, he went back.
I'm talking about Batman.
That's Batman.
Yeah, where Joker had the big long gun, the rifle or whatever it was.
Can we make sure that we have our phones?
The cartoon.
Mel, the movie. You've never seen it.
I probably haven't.
This is why we're having this conversation.
How many Batmans have they had?
They've had a lot. But the
original has, like, when they hit the sound effects. Boing.
No, Mel, no, it's no sound effects like that. You're talking about the TV show.
Was that a TV show?
Yes.
With real people, right?
Yeah, with real people.
That's
okay. Like the Wonder Woman show and the Bionic Man. I'm talking about the actual Batman movie.
Who was the Batman?
I don't remember the person's name.
So
it's old.
You know how many Batmans there were?
It's the first one. It's the original.
You keep saying it's the first. I don't know. It's
the first one.
Batman movie.
I mean, clearly,
with
Joker. What did he say? You ever dance in the moonlight with the devil or something? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
You say with the Joker, but the Joker is the one with the dude that was in Brokeback.
Yes, I know, but it's the original Joker. You got to consider that this Batman movie was what started it all. You know what I'm saying? It's like
the first Batman movie.
Okay, so the new one's called The Batman. I've actually been looking forward to watching it, but I forgot about it.
The first Batman movie, 1966. How in the world would I know that? 1966.
Go ahead and tell me what came out before you were born.
The first
is that the first movie or is that the TV show?
Batman, also known as Batman the Movie, is a 1966 film adaptation of the popular Batman television series and was the first full-length theatrical adaptation of the DC Comics character. But it says this. Huh?
This is what it looked like.
Was that Michael Keaton?
Yeah, it looks like Michael Keaton.
I don't think.
It's 1989.
Yeah, I probably haven't seen that one.
Even the logo.
Yeah.
It was
so classic, man. Huh?
That's a good logo.
Yeah.
It's dope.
When you saw the Batmobile, then Christmas, they had the Bat belt.
The Bat belt.
The Bat belt.
Get the Bat belt for Christmas. I don't know. You know the funny thing is, it's like I'm not like a super big fan of DC Comics, but when I do watch DC Comics, I typically only ever go for the Batman.
Yeah. I mean,
You know.
they don't make other.
Like Superman, like he's OP, but I don't necessarily, follow the story.
Do you think he is? Because I feel like
Is this part of the podcast?
I feel like the
I'm up here like I'm just chilling. I'm just like
I feel like the biggest problem with Superman is his weakness. Like that's his biggest problem. As soon as they start to have kryptonite rings, it's over. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
You give a kryptonite ring to any other superhero, they're thrashing Batman. I mean Superman. Yeah. So he's OP, but if you have kryptonite, he's
well. The problem is kryptonite is supposed to be extremely hard to get.
Right.
There's not like this abundance of kryptonite just scattered around Earth.
Right.
And obviously Batman is Batman, right? So it's extremely resourceful. You have Lex Luthor, which is his arch enemy. Of course, he's a billionaire, trillionaire, zillionaire, whatever. He's Jeff Bezos is so he can of course get that money and get a kryptonite ring or suit, whatever. But other than that, you don't have too many other people that can get it.
But isn't that it though? All it takes is one person.
I mean,
With the
Batman
skill.
and like hit it, and but. I mean, obviously, yes, but everyone has to have a weakness, and he has to have a big weakness because he's pretty much invincible.
So, but this is my point, right? Like, yes, he's OP.
He, in general, yes.
Especially if he can get to the sun, it's over. He can't. There's nothing you can do. But if you get that kryptonite ring, either he's not going to mess with you at all, or he's going to lose. He cannot win if you're fighting him and you got the kryptonite ring. He can't win. The only option he has is to get away from you and laser you. And if you're another superhero, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
This is why he has a team. Also,
is he faster than the Flash?
Yes, but only when they run.
Okay, so Superman flies.
He could fly. I think he could fly faster than the Flash.
I thought that the Flash was. I thought that this was we didn't figure this out. Like they never actually figured it out.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If he's faster on the feet than Flash, why is the Flash a character?
Yeah.
So Flash can go back in time.
I think that the Flash is faster. I mean, I understand that they, whatever. I'm not going off of what the comics are and what is supposed to be what, because I know people are going to be like, oh, like,
in episode 89.
Right. But I honestly think that if they're that close, the Flash can go back in time. Never seen Superman do that. We've seen Superman.
He did it once.
He went back in time?
He flew to the outside of the Earth's orbit or whatever, and he flew around the Earth.
Flew around Earth.
Yeah, I mean, he rewound the Earth.
That's an exaggeration.
Which is like, okay, but Flash, literally, there's shows he's literally running, making rips in time, and then jumping through them.
Right.
Like,
it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, so I mean, me personally, if I'm talking about speed, I'm picking the Flash. And once again, I don't know what the comics say, but if I'm thinking about someone who's fast, I'm going to pick the Flash because also his personality goes and mixes with it also. Mm-hmm. His charismatic personality. Superman doesn't have that charismatic personality, so that's
a stick in the mud.
Yeah, he's just a big, strong, hulky.
But here's the thing about the Flash, though. The Flash technically shouldn't be able to be beat by Superman because he can jump through time and he's so fast and everything. But also the Flash can't beat Superman either.
Right. I mean,
unless he has a kryptonite ring, then it's over.
I mean,
it's over.
Flash and Superman are just as fast as each other. So, I mean, Superman should definitely be able to beat him. Plus, Flash isn't strong like Superman.
Right. But what I'm saying is, well, you just said the Flash is faster.
Yeah.
So if the Flash is faster and he can jump through time, he can't beat him. Oh. He can't beat. I don't think the Flash can kill Superman unless he got that ring.
Oh no! I don't think that at all. I mean, I think in the show he did this thing where he was able to like run like around or whatever, then jump through time and then punch somebody. Then like when he was fighting, I think it was Zoom. Like he was able to like get.
Oh, that's the TV show.
Yeah, this is the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked that.
CW.
Yeah,
I think Marvel makes better films.
I absolutely.
Well, they have DC. A bigger budget.
I think Marvel is better than DC.
They have a bigger budget, but what I'm saying is, and I didn't mean to make a statement that threw you guys. What I'm basically saying is, if I had to choose my favorite movie out of both, it would be probably a Batman movie over Marvel movies. Marvel movies are very hit or miss.
What do you think is the best Marvel superhero? Because Marvel.
So take away Batman, you take away one character out of Marvel. I mean, then what
No,
universe
yeah,
is
then
that
it's
in?
over. Yeah, it's over.
I mean, like you can't just
it's-
judge the whole
I am,
universe
yeah.
or the whole,
I am.
off of one character.
Yeah, I am, though.
Because in general, in the whole, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy both. But the DC comics, DC needs to literally just have Marvel make their movies.
I don't.
Could you imagine a Batman movie that was done by Marvel?
No, I wouldn't want that.
I mean, I'm just talking about
Choose a different superhero.
I'm just talking about the way that their budget. Their
Do you remember what they
storytelling.
did to symbiote Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3? How they had him acting?
Oh, man.
This is the
That
type.
was Sony, though.
I don't care.
It's different.
I don't care. It's Marvel. I lump it all together. I'm sorry.
No, that's not the same.
I'm sorry. I look at the whole of Marvel, and we talked Marvel
They
versus
bought
DC.
Spider-Man.
I understand.
From Sony. They didn't have him at the time.
I understand all that.
Oh, so what do you mean? You can't lump them together then?
Marvel versus DC. Is that what we're not talking about?
Yeah, but you
Okay.
you gotta separate that.
I'm okay.
No, it's Marvel. I get it. It's Marvel is Marvel.
Listen, I think Mel, you probably prefer more animated movies, like more humorous movies. I like less humor, more mystery, and you know what I'm saying. Like I'm biased.
I like Suicide Squad. They have some decent movies. But it could have been
decent.
It could have been
Oh, we did
better.
see
Yeah, I mean it was decent. It wasn't.
It could have been. It just could have been better.
It could have been better.
It's just.
The characters are on this.
I personally like a combination of both. I don't prefer a comedy over a theatrical or dramatized film.
You don't lean more.
I don't lean more. I mean, if anything, I'll lean more towards romance and psychological thrillers.
Okay,
Interesting.
but they don't really do that on Marvel and DC. Well, Marvel.
Right.
Did you guys like? How did you feel about the Venom? So the second one.
I like the first one better. The second one was, I don't know. I didn't feel like the storyline was.
You're talking about the second version of the new Venom?
Because I didn't see the one that just came out.
Oh, I didn't see it. The
the
first
one that
Venom
just came out?
Yeah, I didn't see it. The first Venom was good though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one.
Oh, okay. Because Mel, I think we had touched on it, but we didn't really have a conversation. So I remember the reason that I liked it so much is because they really showed the relationship between Venom and Eddie and how they would essentially try to find a way to live together, right? You have two. You don't really think about this, even in the comics or even watching the cartoons. They're one, and it's just like I feel like they did a really good job of showing how if me and Mel lived in the same body, how we would go back and forth.
Oh God,
you know what I mean? Like, and they really and they fight, right? Like physically and emotionally and mentally within the same body, and it's just. But then they realize they need each other. You know what I'm saying? So I found that very. Whoever wrote that one, right? Whoever the writer was, I think that they did a very good job of walking that line and creating that and making it humorous as well as telling a story. There was a nice amount of action. It was absolutely one of my favorite movies of that type. Like,
I don't think it was any different than how the first one was.
Really?
Because, I mean, they didn't go super hard with the emotional stuff. It's like, hey, we're different personalities clashing. But in the first one, they literally was, he left his body. He's like, I'm going to save your life. I need you. It was literally like the exact same thing. So there wasn't a big difference between the two.
Did you like the comedy? There was a lot of comedy in the second one.
I like the comedy, but I'm not watching it for the comedy.
Okay.
Like I don't like when they make superhero movies. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it to giggle. It's
agreed.
It's a nice add-on to the film, but I don't need that for any kind of like superhero. I don't need a comic relief.
Yeah. And they go overboard with
Marvel tends to lean towards the younger generation, so they put a nice little
Yeah, but the thing is, like with Deadpool, it's perfect because that's who the character
That's
is.
his character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
You know, so like, but when you're in like serious, tense situations and they just want to alleviate that pressure with some kind of comic relief, I'd be like, man, just give us some action or a dope scene, you know, not just force it to be funny. Like, let it happen naturally if it's supposed to be funny, man, you know.
And let people die and let them get hurt and let them get injured. And like, that's the reason why I lean towards, that's why I said Batman, because that undertone is in basically all their movies.
Yeah, it is. It's not prominent in the DC movies. You know, it'll probably be maybe a couple scenes or maybe things that could be like personally humorous.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they particularly aim. You know what? We're just going to make this particular part a comedy thing. You know, like Ant-Man. I feel like that was good. You know,
I liked
Ant-Man,
but
he's
a comedian.
Yeah.
He typically like. So Tom Hardy. You don't typically see him in. Comedy type things. So, it's cool.
Mel, you naming a lot of DC. Didn't you just say you don't watch DC movies? You naming all these DC movies. Didn't you? Did I misunderstand?
Name one.
Ant-Man, Batman,
Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Ant-Man.
I retract my previous statement. Can that be stricken from the record?
Nah, you wrong, cuz you got it on camera.
Mel doesn't take anything out.
Stricken? No, he does.
I do.
He leaves everything.
No,
he doesn't crop.
I don't. I definitely don't crop. You all after production.
Nah, man.
I mean, I do on my. I mean, okay.
Little
on
after
some little
production's
stuff,
okay.
but this is nah.
We don't need to talk about that.
Oh yeah, true that. But I mean, yeah, Marvel. I prefer Marvel over everything, but I respect like the subtleness and the seriousness of DC films.
Hey man, I'm trying to go see that Batman today.
I was thinking about actually going to see it. You know, we're not going to see it, but to see it. Just because, like, what's the Robert Pattinson dude that played in Twilight? They trying to give him a hard time. You know, they say he doesn't fit it, but I'm hearing good things about it.
Was he Joker? Who did he play?
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, I don't know the character.
He's Batman.
He was the main character of Twilight.
He was like the vampire.
The vampire, the slim, pale.
Yeah.
Oh, so this Batman is because I don't know. I don't.
Ben Affleck was the last Batman, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, they had to get rid of him.
Yeah, because he just was just. I'm Batman.
Yeah, he was bad.
Was big
I
and
don't feel like
bulky.
they showed him enough.
No, they showed him enough. He just knew he wasn't good.
Did he have his own movie? Because I know he was in like Batman versus Superman,
Right,
and
which was the best Superman movie
and then Justice League, but he didn't have his own.
He had the one with Bane.
That wasn't George Clooney. I mean, what's his name?
That was the other.
That was Christian Bale.
Which I thought he was. I thought he was good. I thought that Ben Affleck was too big.
Wait a minute.
Like
when did it come
Batman
out?
is not
Maybe
big.
you're right, man.
Yeah, so I don't think he had a standalone movie.
Wow, that's rough.
Well, I mean, it speaks volumes. He wasn't really good. I think he was like a filler or something. I don't know.
Trying to find out who the next.
Right, until the next Batman comes.
Yeah, because Batman was always smaller. He was very athletic. He was agile. He was a martial artist. Ben Affleck ain't all that. That's why they made him just big, and they put him in that
big armored suit.
The armored suit like that. It worked well for him, but that's not Batman.
Well, that's what he needed against Superman, right? So it's like,
but they played toward. They made the movie and they played towards him. So I honestly don't know anything about this current Batman.
I don't either.
But I heard it was good. I heard it was long, but it was still good.
It looked good from the trailer from the beginning, but I only saw like the outfit and his bike. I didn't see
the trailer. Just kidding.
That's definitely not going to
happen. Well, that's a copyright strike waiting to happen.
Yeah, just
waiting to happen.
We didn't even get to introduce the podcast.
Let's do it.
Man, introduce the podcast.
Chris James. Stephen Michael. Animated Mel. Application of Knowledge. Podcast.
Okay.
What's this? Week 10? Episode 10?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Okay. It's one of them.
Episode 10.
I'm pretty sure it's episode 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. We out here.
Yeah.
You know, how's everything been, Chris? How's your day? How's your week?
Oh man, I'm on cloud 9 right now. You already know. Come on, man. You trying to put me on the spotlight.
But you feeling good, man? You excited? You got a lot of things happening?
Always. I reached a major milestone recently, which obviously y'all, you know what I'm saying, people know about AHA and everything like that, but I reached a major personal milestone. Yeah. Before I ever started doing health and wellness, my first love, something I researched and really dug into was finance. Back in 2009, when the recession was really taking full force and everybody was on unemployment.
Good times.
You laughing at people being on unemployment, man?
I'm not. I'm laughing.
You're a savage, man.
Hey, man,
I was on unemployment. I'm just saying everybody ain't nobody have jobs. We was all on unemployment
because times during that time.
But
you talking back in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity. Instead, I laughed because I took that opportunity and I learned and I grew from it instead of allowing it to kick me and keep me down. And I started a business instead of going back to work because I figure, this isn't going to be smart to keep putting myself in a position where I could lose my job. If I own my own business, or if I'm handling my own business, I control that. So at that time, I started researching finances because I'm like, well, shoot, I need to step my game up. If I'm gonna start a business, I might need to get loans. Like at the time, I was driving it might have been like a '89 Honda wagon.
Oh, the paddy wagon.
They call it the grocery getter.
Yeah, the paddy wagon.
Which they're actually pretty. I like it.
Remember that car?
Yeah, it's.
I remember that car.
It's a Honda Accord, but it's a wagon.
My dude was in one of those old whips, man. One of those 80. What year was that car?
It was probably like an '89 or something. I don't know.
Man, it's one of those. Definitely a grocery getter.
It's a grocery getter.
Definitely a grocery getter.
But here's the beauty of it, right? Like a little over 10 years later, taking a situation like that, diving deep into research and learning, and now I just hit one of my greatest milestones. If I'm being honest, it's the highest milestone I set for myself as it relates to credit. Being able to get loans, large loans, being able to maneuver like I was wealthy, you know what I mean? Not having to worry about, putting up all this collateral and just, all the things that you have to go through when you're either a small business owner or a brand new entrepreneur, or you just don't have good credit and you can't get a car loan. I felt like that was a major hindrance to my life, and I set out to fix it, and it took me a long time, but I learned a lot of way because I did it myself. I learned, and I'm able to teach it as well, which obviously, you all have been beneficiaries of that. But yeah, it's just exciting, and obviously now I gotta create a new. I don't know if I didn't even realize. I gotta step it up now because
you gotta make another new goal.
I gotta make a new goal, but I mean, I have a new goal. Y'all already know some of my goals. They're pretty outlandish, which I love. But I need to refocus my energy because I've met all of my goals. So now I need to refocus my energy on the new stuff. So it's just exciting to
I'm proud of you, man.
Hey, man, real proud of you.
I'm happy to hear that. Especially seeing everything from everything blossom. And seeing how we used to live, in particular, like when we lived in Pennsylvania.
Oh man,
we was living out in PA, and hey, it's all a nice little progress. So definitely proud of you, man. Keep up the good stuff, man.
My movie is gonna be fire when it comes out.
You're gonna be it's gonna be like that Kanye doc.
I still need to see that. I heard it was good.
Kanye doc's pretty good. I haven't seen the third one, but the last two.
Wait, how many documentaries does he have?
It's just 3 parts.
Oh, 3 parts.
It's just a trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're like an hour and a half each episode, so it's like 3 movies.
That makes convenient the timing that came out.
When you say convenient, you allude to the fact that there was some type of coincidence.
Oh, I was being very facetious. Like there was no convenient factor in it.
A couple things released very conveniently during this time. Yeah.
How was your week, Steven?
My week was good, man. I have been focused on of course work as always, health, and just making myself a better version today than I am yesterday. And really that has been a goal. I've been with Chris a lot this last week or so, and watching him maneuver financially, and it has been it's been an eye opener, and then it has caused me to then change or adjust some of my goals because I know that I have goals for the next 3 to 4 years, and understanding what I need to do in the next 3 or 4 years makes me then adjust what I need to do now.
Bless me.
So it's really important to understand. That's why it's important to have different levels of goals, right? So you have short term, mid-term, so maybe 3 to 5 years, and long-term, 5, 7 to 10 years, whatever that may be, short, medium, and long type goals. And they really should align to help you step right up and up and up. So if you look at your long-term goals, you then should be able to look at your short and your mid-term goals, and they should all be in alignment in one way or the other. So just watching a lot of that happen has had me to just look at myself and see, what am I doing? Am I doing the right things? Am I putting the work in, the effort in to get to these long-term goals? And of course, the answer is yes. But really, like I said, helped me to change kind of my mindset and my thinking about certain things. So I'm very grateful to be in this space and to be able to watch these things. And as I've said, maybe not on the podcast, but on the regular AHA channel, like Chris is my coach. Just in general, and he practices what he preaches, and it just helps me to just continue to grow. And so, other than that, though, everything has been good. I have no complaints.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
I think that's a beautiful thing, being able to, especially your brother, being able to have that inspiration or that motivation there. That's it's more like a light. That guides you in a particular direction, or creates different insights or different perspectives, and that's the beautiful. That's like the beautiful thing of being around people who are progressing,
right?
Just doing better, because you automatically soak in that energy. My week has been good as well. I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of. I guess I listen to audiobooks as well. It's part of the thing.
Anything particular that you learned special this week, you think? Or
I've been reading.
Out?
I've been reading this book. I talked to Chris about it. It's just it's about the body.
Okay. The human body owner's workshop manual by allegedly K.A. Dave.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely, all that.
That's the reason why he's like, it's this book.
That's the name of it.
It's called The Human Body or something like that.
The book is the way he's worded.
Yeah, like, bruh, keep it simple, man.
You're making it real hard. I'm trying to say the name of your book, but I can't even say it.
Human body.
Yeah, but the book it gave me some really good insight. And typically, when I read books, I like to pace it out so I have a good understanding of it and not just read it to read it.
Yeah.
So I read I was like, okay, first book, I was like, okay, I'll read about 25, 30 pages and then I'll, break it up throughout the week. Mm-hmm. But the first time that I started reading it, I read 60 pages,
It must have been good.
Yeah, it was a real good book.
I haven't read it. Chris told me about it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's it definitely gives you, if you have an open mind.
Yeah.
Right, you got to have open mind.
If you have an open mind and you understand how the body works and how medicine works and how everything that we've been taught isn't necessarily in the best benefit of us and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And it speaks on a lot of things that we naturally should be seeking things to heal us from within. But we've been painted this picture or this narrative within society that everything that we need to prosper or to feel better is outside of us.
Right.
We need pills and potions in order to heal a lot of things. And it's funny because after I read this book, there was this thing that popped up on my YouTube feed where it was talking about a TED talk, a TEDx talk or whatever. And there was this lady where she did a TED talk, and on this TED Talk, she was speaking about health and how she had this crippling disease and how she wasn't been able to move, and throughout her entire life since she was a kid, she's been in and out of the hospital and in and out of the different doctors and stuff like that, and she would naturally still have these issues, these crippling issues where it hurts her to walk, it hurts her to move. And what she came to realize that once she changed her diet, she discovered that once she changed her diet, that those ailments started to go away.
Come on now.
And
tell them again, man. Say it again for the people in the back.
But she didn't get to put that video out because it's not necessarily talking about anything that has to do with the medical field. So it's like she was like trying put the video out. Like we did this video out, but TEDx, they didn't put that video out because they go against their guidelines or whatever, or something like that.
Interesting.
Censorship.
And so she put it out herself on her own YouTube channel. And basically her diet was she started getting rid of things. She started having basically a carnivore diet.
Okay.
It was a strict carnivore diet where she just eats nothing but meat or whatever. And then once she changed her diet, she realized like, oh man, there's a lot of things that I'm putting in my body that's adding to my ailments. And I was just like, this is so wild that after I read this book that this video pops up. And it gave me a completely different insight because I was just like, man, I want to tell everyone about this. I want to be able to tell everyone about this. Yeah. But like I said, if it's not in a position where you have an open mind, a lot of the things that he talks about in that book, you'll be like, you wow.
Yeah.
You know, because he talks about things that people wouldn't even consider.
Yeah.
Like urine therapy. Most people, they hear about urine therapy. Oh, well, maybe people don't know about urine therapy.
They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But if they were to try it, they would probably have a different perspective. Now, Granted, I've never tried urine therapy, so I don't know. I don't have firsthand experience, but there's testimonials and people who teach this. But this isn't anything that you'll ever hear in like the mainstream aspect because our body can heal itself naturally. Our body can do things that modern medicine can't even compete with, you know? And I feel like that knowing that, if there was a way to teach people this and like help their minds understand like, hey man, everything that you need within your body, you can heal yourself. You don't necessarily need the allopathic medicine,
right?
Is what they call it. And it made me ponder, made me wonder is because her message, the girl, when she posts that video, she wants to help. She's under the mindset that the medical community, they are unaware of the more natural things to help. You know, she thinks that, hey, I have this out here. I want to be able to provide this for the entire medical community. But they know this.
She's kind of she's gullible. I don't want to say gullible. I don't know. Maybe she was protected. I don't know. People just want to think the best out of everybody. But urine therapy. I actually did a video. I had a guest come on, and we talked about it. And I actually have every intention of bringing Dave on the show whenever I'm waiting for some things.
He's in the UK, right?
He'd be all over. But yeah. So. But it's I tell people I think I just told somebody this yesterday. I said if I had a friend, maybe it was one of y'all. If I had a friend or somebody who was like stage 4 cancer, they're on their way out. If it was one thing I could say to do, I tell them do urine therapy, but like couple it with fasting. So it's a technique called looping where you use your urine and that's all you drink and you fast. Well, you could drink water too, but you fast and you use your urine. A lot of people are going to stop right here. And they'll be like, he's crazy. He lost it. Yeah. Because when I very first put the information out, people would be like, Chris, you need to stay in your lane. What's next? Eating your feces. You know what I mean? Like people just go crazy and it's just like they just turn it off. But that's the reason why I'm where I am and they're where they're at. Because like at the end of the day, people with limiting beliefs, they're never going to accomplish great things in life because you can't have that type of mindset and be great. If you look at all the greatest people in the world, they're all a little kooky, all a little off. You know what I'm saying? Kanye's one of the greatest examples because he's so public. Everybody knows Kanye's a little off, but he's also one of the greatest things that happened to music in our generation. So It's just like you have to change those limiting beliefs. You have to, especially when it comes to health. And look, my thing is, I'm not trying to get people to just do some old crazy stuff. Look at the science. Everybody says follow science, but then when it comes to something that you've been conditioned to believe one way or the other, you just don't want to hear it. You don't care. It's so crazy. I even see wellness practitioners, people who I would consider colleagues, who are like, don't come at me with that urine therapy crap. There's nothing you could get from your urine. Ain't never tried it. Ain't never researched it. Never done any type of real deep dive into it. Because if you had done any type of deep dive, you may not have done it, but you'd understand why people do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not urine therapy. There's so many different ways to do it. When you hear urine therapy, people think, oh, you're drinking your urine. That's one way. But this is my problem, right? Like, people don't even know how to use it. There's many ways you could use it outside of just simply drinking it. And then there's so many benefits to it. Like you getting yourself in a situation when you're in the wilderness, you've been bit by something, you're in a place where there is no fresh, clean drinking water. Like, this information is so vital. And a lot of mainstream health practitioners, they understand stuff about the urine. Like, doctors will admit oftentimes, well, you could drink it. You just don't want to drink it too long. It becomes toxic after a while, which that's not true. But they'll say stuff like that. But the urine is actually your blood. Yeah. So it's plasma ultrafiltrate. It is your blood. It's also the amniotic fluid, what we are formed in. I think if people understood that, it would be a whole different thing. And if you try to tell me there's bacteria and disease in your urine, and your urine's a waste product, then your whole blood, your blood is
everything should be toxic.
It's all toxic. Yeah. When they do plasma, Steve, when you got plasma removed, I don't know if it has to settle first, but eventually it looks like urine.
No, what happens is that they take it, and when it comes out, it's blood. Mm-hmm. And then what they do is it goes through a machine. And the machine has a chemical that it actually separates it. Okay. So the blood goes in once into the machine, and then it separates it, and then out the other side
comes the plasma.
Kidneys. And then they actually send the blood back into you. So you don't have that, because they take a lot. Yeah. So you don't have that, oh my God, I just lost all this blood feeling, you know what I mean? That faintness, which is actually really weird because, now they're pushing blood back through the vein, which things can happen. It just feels weird. But yeah, it literally looks like urine. It's yellowish. It looks like urine.
It looks like urine. So the machine mimics the kidneys, because that's all the kidneys do. The kidneys, see, everybody thinks the kidneys that they're designed to.
Talk to them, man.
I mean, Mel did this on purpose, I feel like. Oh, my bad. You got me off. But the kidney, everybody thinks the kidneys are like almost what the liver does. But there's redundancies all in the system, right? There's redundancies everywhere. So the kidneys can pick up for the liver when the liver's not doing its job because you've drank too much alcohol or whatever the case may be. But what it actually is doing is it's regulating. That's what the kidneys do. They regulate the nutrients and the material that's in the blood. It sends it to the different various parts of the body that need this, that, and the other. And the bladder is a reservoir. It's because think about it. Let's just think about it. What is the reservoir for your fecal matter? Where's the reservoir in your body for the fecal matter?
I would say
something similar to a bladder.
I don't think that there's anything that would be similar to a bladder, but I would just say your colon because of the length, right? But there's no reservoir; it doesn't just sit there.
I was very specific with my words.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't think there's no reservoir then.
There's no reservoir. So if urine is a waste product, why does the body store it? Why would the body store it? Think about it logically. If it's trash, right? It's garbage, right? Garbage goes through the kidneys. It comes out the urethra. It just comes right out. Comes out the urethra. Why are we storing urine? Now, the funny thing about it is, if you've ever had to pee real bad, but you're busy, you're working, whatever. We've all experienced this. Pressure is on your bladder. It's real. Yeah. This is not a drill.
The pee dance.
You start doing a little wobble, but you like typing, boom, 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 man. And then all of a sudden it goes away.
Yeah.
That's because the body will reabsorb the urine. It's actually alleviating the pressure. Body wouldn't do that to waste. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's like taking trash out to the trash can, and the trash gets too full. So you say, you know what? Let's actually bring it back inside. Like, what? You would never do that. No, we just leave it outside.
Just think logically about stuff, man.
I don't think it's logical. I think that it's difficult. There's conditioning.
You think so?
Well, I'm saying
I think it's logical. I think the conditioning.
It's logical for us. I think that if you're outside the box thinker, or if you can at least accept maybe there's something different out there that I don't know. If you're an out of the box thinker, you can at least accept it. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, right? But you can at least accept that maybe there's something different, and then you can gain information, and then you can determine what you want to believe or not. But if you just shut it down right from the beginning, then you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's good to, I guess, challenge your beliefs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But most people wouldn't even think that, because they hold people who are professionals who've been taught a particular trade or a particular, medical skill, that this is the proper way, and they're professionals. They're the ones who know this, when in fact, it's just the cycle is continuing.
That's it.
The cycle is continuing, of everything that has been taught. And there is a reason. And I don't want to get into a conspiracy talk.
Yeah, we ain't gonna
we
talk
can, but I'm just
conspiracies.
saying it's more like if you look at the medical field in its totality, what have they actually healed?
Oh,
What have they cured? Like, people be like, well, they got rid of this. They'll do treatments. They'll give you treatments.
Come on now.
They'll give you temporary solutions that basically just suppress your immune system or suppress the pain. Like, hey, you have a headache? Take this Tylenol.
That's
hey,
it.
all it's going to do is suppress that
it.
feeling. It's not getting rid of. It's just suppressing the symptom. It's not getting rid of or fixing anything. It's literally like being shot in the thigh or something like that, and then getting numbed up. Ooh, I don't feel this anymore.
right.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
My leg's good.
Like,
no,
I'm
it's
good.
not. You're still shot.
It's
bleeding out, can't stand.
I can't feel it, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
But the problem is persisting. So most people don't realize that in order to fix that, you need to change what you're putting in yourself. And regardless of what anyone else out there in this world is saying, your body is telling you something completely different.
Right.
Listen to what your body is telling you. And I feel like if you listen to what your body's telling you, that would be motivation to then challenge what you've been taught. Because no matter what solution that a doctor is providing for you, if you're still feeling any kind of discomfort or any kind of pain, okay, then they're drawing at straws. They don't know absolutely everything. They can just teach you what they've been taught.
That's it.
And everything that they've been taught is typically going to be through allopathic medicine. Or that's literally just going to be it. It's probably rare cases where you get actual doctors who are in the field. They'll be like, hey, try fasting or try something that's more natural. It's rare. There's
happens.
people who do it, but it's rare.
But usually those doctors study outside of their
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So here's the thing. For those of y'all who are like, listen, the scientists, the doctors, the PhDs, they've studied 10 years, 16 years. They know this stuff better than I do. You have to understand they are human beings first. They're not gods. They're not infallible. None of these things this pedestal we put them on it's false. Right? So what that means is they're susceptible to the same conditioning that you are. You see it all of the time. Confirmation bias is a real thing. Yeah. Cognitive dissonance is a real thing. Yeah. People know exactly what Mel said, what they've been taught. And then you add the God complex on top of that white coat. And I know better than you, and that ego that people get. And now they're not even looking to know more. Why? Because they were taught by Harvard, they were taught by Oxford, they were taught by some of the greatest institutions who are have access to some of the greatest information. Just imagine for a moment, just consider for a moment that all of that information is being controlled to some degree. I'm not saying that it's all controlled and it's all wrong and it's all garbage and they're just lying to everybody. No, it only takes 20% of a lie to taint all of the information. They can give you 80% of the truth and give you 20% of a lie or a fallacy, and that's enough to cause a disruption to get whatever outcome they want. So just imagine, just if you can conceive that could possibly happen, you can't just say, okay, well, the doctors know better. How can a doctor know your body better than you do? When I was dealing with my issue, I had an infection, 10 years. The doctors were trying to convince me it's in my head. So for 10 years, I've been making up this irritating feeling I have in my body because you don't have the equipment or the know-how, because your knowledge is so limited that you can't find anything wrong. So instead of going outside of what you've been taught, because that's what you would assume that they're researchers, and they're not. They're going to look in the book. You tell them the symptoms. They're going to look in their book. They're going to say, okay, it looks like this, this, and that. They're going to give you the drugs for this, this, and that. And when that doesn't work, it's in your head, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, because there's nothing in our book that says there's anything wrong with you, right? And so anyway, it's just a whole culture. So, but taking my health into my own hands was the best thing I could do, because I literally was at a point where I was like, I don't know, I'm going to live like this. Yeah. Like, those were my thoughts. Like, how am I going to live with this irritation for the rest of my life?
Wow, that's deep.
And that's why in those situations, I mean, granted, meetings or talking someone to the first time, as far as like the dating website with the girl with the diabetes, it's like when I see that, it's like, I wish that I can grab your head and just listen. I'm trying to help you, and when it comes to receiving help, there's ego involved, especially when it comes to health. Yeah. Like, I feel like health should be a priority. Like, I feel like health should be taught in schools, or there should be a proper way for people to, why is it that the allopathic scene is the primary? It's the primary thing in everything. Like, why is that the primary when that hasn't, throughout history, you can see it hasn't provided people, for the most part, a proper solution. Maybe they'll say, hey, my whatever is a cancer survivor. Okay, and then they receive, chemotherapy. Burn all your cells.
Everything. Just kill everything.
It's just like, why are you nuking the body when you can just heal it? You can heal. You're nuking the body, be like, all right, the cancer gone, but now you
have no immune system. It literally destroys your immune system.
I think that most people die from the treatment more than they die from the cancer itself because of that.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't think that a lot of people understand, like, when you go get chemotherapy, it is designed to attack cells, right? Because that is what cancer is. Cancer is the mutated cells that gather together, which is how you get the tumor, right? So what chemotherapy does is it goes in and it literally kills cells, but it cannot go straight towards the tumor. It just kills everything. And then hopefully they make it small enough so they can go in and remove it, and then they got to check and make sure it was all gone. But this happens all the time. And a lot of people don't know that. Right?
No.
And this is why some people will die after they've beat cancer, because they have no immune system.
Outside of that 5-year range, because they only monitor for 5 years. How many people outside of the 5-year range that they monitor die after that? You know what I'm saying? What's their life expectancy? Right. And it's all strategic. Because I'm sure they've looked at the numbers, and they probably see, well, most people can survive about 5 years, so we're going to cut it off after that. They're cancer free, they're in remission, it's no problem. And also the way that the numbers are, the way the data is collected is all manipulated in a way to benefit a certain outcome, right? There are devices that were created. First of all, reversing. If y'all have watched AHA at all, reversing cancer is not some crazy thing. It's a very simple process. People don't want to do the work, but it's a very simple process. It's really, the main thing is change the way you eat. Yeah. Like, that's the main thing. Drink water, healthy water, change the way you eat. That's the main thing. There's many other pieces to this puzzle, don't get me wrong, but that will address most cancer. Then there's devices. There was a device can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a frequency device. Mel, maybe you heard of it. It basically can tune into, so everything in our world has a resonance frequency, including cancer cells.
Okay, I understand.
As well as bacteria and all that stuff, right? If you can tune into an opposing frequency, you could cause the thing to vibrate and essentially bust.
Yeah.
It basically just disintegrates. It's a super safe way, and this device was able to pinpoint microorganisms and cells and things of that nature, tuned to the frequency, and just basically kill it without harming. Because that frequency only is for that particular bug or that particular type of thing, so it doesn't harm anything else.
That's why frequencies are powerful. That's why energy is powerful, and like just.
Rife machine. Sorry.
Rife machine.
Rife.
Just like that. I mean, I believe you taught this in the first AHA event.
Maybe.
Where you talking about how the doctor. Actually, I had his name, but I wrote it down. I don't remember it. But he basically created cancer through frequencies and was able to get rid of cancer or get to a frequency where cancer just doesn't exist, And I was just like, that is so dope. And saying positive things to your water and saying and negative things to your water, it plays a role and it affects how the water is going to look. On a molecule level, on a cellular level. It shows you the beauty of it when you say beautiful things and good things with empowering words. And it shows you the negative, what happens when you say negative thing and you say negative words. That's why it's always, I think it's very vital that people say and think and speak out loud good things and say positive things, because especially if you're already sick, if you say negative things to yourself, it's going to suppress your immune system and just make everything completely worse.
Yep.
Especially when we are beings made of water, primarily of water. We're like the biggest frequency catchers.
I mean, when Chris did a lesson on that, what you're talking about, right, with Dr. Emoto and the experiments that he did with rice and water, and what that actually looks like, because you as you just said, we are primarily water. That's what we are. And we are, we're full of all kinds of energy, right? But water has a very unique property, which it has memory, and it can remember the things that it understands. And a lot of times people may hear that and they're like, how can water understand anything? But it does. There's experiments, there's things that are out there that you can clearly see, then understand that, okay, your words and what you say and do affects water. Mm-hmm. And then when you understand that, well, then you are water, then it really makes sense when you look at what people say to you, how it can affect you, right? I mean, you take, for example, a person that has been in an abusive relationship, and then now they're outside of that relationship, they're damaged. Right? They are going to show damage. They're going to show a level of sensitivity to certain things. They're going to show a level of distrust. There's going to be, there's a lot of stuff there, right? Because their water has been damaged, right? And it takes time to rebuild that and to heal and go through that process. Just as the same thing. If you have a child or a relationship, someone who's been built up, they've been told they're beautiful. They've been told that they are wonderful and they can do all of this, right? All this stuff in the world, then that's what they're going to believe. And a lot of times that actually is a really good thing. I mean, unfortunately, obviously, it's a different subject, right? We can start leading ourselves into delusion, and we can start thinking things that are not actually true, but that's just based upon a lot of stuff that we've been told. But it's very important, the things that we say to each other, which makes it very important to understand that we need to be careful with who we have around us. Because if you have people around you that are negative and you're the only positive one, and you have people around you that are pulling you down and they're not saying the things or doing the things you want to do, then of course, then that is going to be you also. So as Chris was stating how he has, continued to work and he's hit these milestones, by us being around and us all working in synergy, we have helped each other to hit higher levels, right? So instead of, it took you 10 years, it'll take me 4, right? Or whatever, or less.
Maybe less.
To accomplish the same thing, if not more, right? So that's the really cool thing about synergy, and that's the really cool thing about water, and understanding that you can empower each other. And a lot of people think that, oh, this is that spiritual mumbo jumbo, da da da. No, this is real.
This is all scientifically proven.
I mean, you can do experiments. This is legit. This is real. This isn't even, people were like, oh, astrological. That's what I'm like. Nah, this is legit. So, I love this stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing too, and this is what I was talking about earlier when we talk about science. You can't say science, follow science, believe science, look at the science, but you're only willing to look at one side of the science. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we talk about metaphysical things, that's all quantifiable by science as well, but it's not traditionally accepted. Although now I think it's becoming that way because the new generation of human beings, they're not accepting this traditional science anymore. Yeah. A lot of people are like, no, girls. It's one of the favorite things girls say nowadays is I'm catching a vibe. You know what I mean?
And manifesting.
It's
probably a super hot buzzword.
It's very hot. And although people may not understand what that actually means, they do in the sense that it resonates with them. And that's why people are catching on to it. But at the end of the day, you got to be willing to look at all the science. Even me, I don't just look at what I think is the best science. When I was studying, see, the thing about it is the only way I know that their science is bad and doesn't work is because I studied it. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I know. I'm not just making it up. Like, you get to see. I tell people, research the research. That's my favorite thing. Research the research. Look at the potential agendas. Look at the money trail. Look, you know what I mean? Look at who's got something to gain, who's got something. Because if you don't do that, then all of it looks good.
Yeah, you'll definitely be called in some kind of bias perspective if you like, you know what, they have my best interest. You're like, no, this company actually, they're making like patients who come in. Like, okay, if hey, try this out. They do that all the time. Yeah, to test things out on people to see how they will react to it. It's like they volunteer ourselves to be test dummies, but thinking that the doctors have our best interests.
They don't know,
right? And they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them.
They had a pharmaceutical rep that came to them that said, "Listen, we need you to push this, yada yada yada." They collect data, they get kickbacks. I mean, come on, man. This is but we go to our doctor with the expectation of, well, they know. Well, if they know, why do you go from medicine to medicine to medicine to medicine? Like,
and why do you keep getting worse and worse?
Right.
One person. I just need one person. Just one. One person. Okay, 10 people. Give me 10 people, because someone might have one person.
Right.
Give me 10 people who have, let's say, started on blood pressure medication or cholesterol medication or diabetes medication. They took the medication as it was directed. They got better and they got off the medication.
Well, I mean, without changing anything else.
Yes, that was the only thing they did, because you can't. That's why I said one person. But if they change nothing else, it's not happening. Because it's not designed to do that. That's how I know, because I've researched their research. Their actual doctrine is we address symptoms. That is what all the medications are designed to do. They do not address core issues. Period. It's not their doctrine. That's not their job. So why are we going to a mechanic when we have lawyer problems? We got legal problems. That's what we're doing. Right? The allopathic medicine has its place, and people always think, Chris, you're against that. And I'm not. It has its place. Yeah. If I get stabbed, take me to the hospital.
I mean, I've said that. Like I love emergency medicine. I think that it's very important.
Trauma, take me to the hospital.
You fall off of a ladder and your leg is broken, your leg is split open. Yes, take me to a hospital. Don't try to wrap me up with
man, I'm natural, cuz.
Don't try to wrap me up with a bay leaf and put some essential oils on it. Like, no, I see bone. Like, right. You need to go to a hospital. Right. It
has its place.
But general practicing, just day to day, like, I don't feel good, right? Just how do I feel better? Well, then why does that not have its place also? Why would you still go to the person that's, we're gonna do this and right where the bone is sticking out? No, You go to somebody.
Put essential oils on.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, we got some essential oils going over here. Like, you put a little passion on there, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Helichrysum, if your bone is sticking out your thigh, what is it, copaiba? Copaiba, I love that. It's for pain. If your bone is sticking out, like, man, you
might not be the best option.
You may need a little morphine. You know, you just got shot. I mean,
right. Go ahead and give me one of them numbing pains when my leg is hanging off.
Give me one of them, don't try to,
I think it would be cool if they... if society just like implemented like the more natural things.
I think that if they accepted both. See, that's the problem. Like, people want to look at things and say, well, no, allopathic, this is the way we go. We're doctors, yada, yada, yada. And everything else is now alternative. Well, why can it not be both? If you don't just feel good, if you're saying that I just want to feel better, in general, my health isn't good, like, what can I do? Why can you not go to somebody who is a holistic doctor or somebody who is a wellness coach or something? And that's the normal thing, right? Here, we're going to start working with things naturally. We're going to start working with things and go this route. And then if that doesn't work, then we can escalate, or we can help you to alleviate symptoms if we need to in other ways, if it's too intense, right? But why is that not the standard, right? Where you say, well, we can accept both. Both of them are acceptable. That's not the case. It's literally a case of looking at one side of evidence, like going into a courtroom and you only have one side of the evidence and you don't look at both. That's literally what's happening.
But this is the problem, right? Because Rockefeller had an agenda. And so at the end of the day, because my thing is this: when we look at the world around us, a lot of people think the world around us is it's just the natural progression of things. And it's that pisses me off, because it's like nothing about our modern world is a natural progression of anything.
Everything has been peace and
yeah. It's been if you think about the amount of genius that's in the world right now, why don't we have flying cars, like legitimate flying cars?
I mean, you had Elon Musk just come out. I mean, yesterday on Twitter and literally say the United States government is failing its people. Like, there's no reason that our gas prices should be going up the way that they are. Like, they're literally failing us. Like, I mean, he literally, like, Elon Musk is a genius. I mess with Elon. And they were having an issue in Ukraine, and they said, well, we need internet, or I forget where it was exactly. I forget this specifically. And they said, well, how about you do this, Elon? Within 24 hours, he had internet in this place that there was no internet. 24 hours. And then sent them servers and everything. 24 hours. Why can Elon Musk do that? But our government can't release enough oil. Like, we're in Texas, our gas prices are $4. Like, at the Shell, the gas, it's $3.99. Like, our gas is normally when I first got here, it was like $2.15.
Oh yeah, back then, yeah.
Back then, it hadn't even been 2 years. It's almost doubled.
Well, the timing. It was probably about $3.15 on average recently. 315.
Okay, well, yeah, but you're just getting used to the increase. I
mean, of course, it's been going up ever since the recession. I think 2009.
I'm not even talking about that, but I'm
just saying.
When I got here, this is less than 2 years ago. It was like $2.20.
It's the price of war, baby.
It was like $2.20. It is almost doubled in the last year and change. Like, it's slowly crept up, but it is just. We were at $3.59 3 days ago, and then now it's at $3.99. Like. I mean, you talked about the amount of genius. There is genius out there. There is. If we did what was best for humanity,
yeah,
our life would be completely different.
It'd be completely.
We would be so much further ahead as well. But that's not the case, because you have all these special interests. You have people. You have greed. There's pride. You have all these
control mechanisms.
All these things that are in place to help feed people's emotions. And that's one of the biggest problems.
That's why I'm checked out of anything that has to do with unity of the world. Like, I believe in myself and I believe in the people that's around me. But to think, being realistic about how this world is moving, I have zero faith in.
It's never going to happen.
I have zero faith, and I say that with 100% confidence.
World peace, just everything, just
it's not going to happen, just because we can't even bro, we can't even decide on the simplest things.
Yeah.
We can't even decide on education within a society. Like, hey, this is right for you. This is... We're arguing and bickering and fighting and just constant conflict over tiny things. That's why I'm just like...
It all boils down to money, too. Like, because realistically, as a country, what would be the smartest thing to do? Educate everybody. Right? If you're talking about education, you're talking about making sure that everyone has the opportunity. You want to be the best country. The smartest thing to do, based upon their standards, would be to educate everybody. Right? And then, so everyone then kind of comes up, and then now our society would be better. But the problem is that you have these most educated people that feel like, okay, well, we are worth this, and you need to pay this, and people can't pay that, so they don't get the education. So
we need the education is great. It's good, but we have to learn the proper things. Not just, hey, let's be taught in a particular way that's just going to benefit the system.
No,
because
right.
we're in that cycle.
I'm just saying, just in general, education.
Learning.
So financial education, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, because we currently do have education, but we don't have the best knowledge that's out there to make us be able to function properly within the society. They're making us have that mindset that we have to follow this particular system in order to prosper.
Right.
When there's things outside of what we are currently being taught that are more beneficial. They don't teach you the important things of owning land and property and how to, properly maneuver with your taxes and how to start businesses and all these things that teach you how to function and create your own versus relying on a system that's going to do it for you.
So when I say education, I'm just talking about the ability to gain knowledge. I'm not saying specifically learning the way that they want us to learn. But
I get that.
Okay,
I'm just expounding on that
want
thought.
to be more specific.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say though, because Steve, what you're kind of,
I guess.
What you're kind of implying is that the government is like run for the people, by the people, like, you know what I'm saying, that traditional conditioning that we got in school, when we all know that our countries are businesses, and the businesses are here for profits, and they're here for, certain outcomes.
Right.
Like, for example, Trump will start a business just to bankrupt it.
Right.
So why is that not the same with America? Like, they don't care about people. It has nothing to do about people.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
Right.
Because they if they wanted America to be the best country in the world,
right,
they would do what is best for our people.
But that's what I'm saying. All countries are the same. They're all businesses.
Right.
So no business wants what's best for its employee.
Right.
That's not the goal of the business.
If we as a human society said, let's just be the best we can be, which, as Mel stated, there's no faith that this isn't going to happen, right? We know that. But it would literally just be, well, what is the best for the people? How can we better everything for everybody? How can we just be the best we can be? Because if we did that, we would be light years ahead of where we are, right? You have these military technologies that are 10 years ahead of us. Why is that not out to these car manufacturers so we can get 50 miles to the gallon or 100 miles to the gallon? Or
right.
Why are we not all electric or running on solar or running on water, right? Because that's the thing.
Hydrogen. Even as crappy as the electric cars are, we don't all have it like what? Like,
you said they're crappy?
Electric cars are crappy.
Tesla's meant to be getting it, man.
As a technology,
right?
Like when you look at from start to finish, the sourcing of the raw materials, the manufacturing process, the amount of energy and everything that goes into creating it, it's crappy. It's all crap.
Well, I think that a lot of it is still being refined because
Steve, the technology is 100 years old. Electric cars are so old.
Well,
there's nothing new. This is my problem. Even if you talk about hydrogen cars, there's cars that run on water.
Right.
Like,
I know that. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying that this technology has been around. Why is it not open and available to everybody?
But yeah, I mean,
and they don't work together to refine it to say, let's make it the best it can be. That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
No. I understand what you're saying. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Like, we're not at the pinnacle. Electrical cars. It's a very old technology. It's extremely outdated. I know it feels like it's new, but it's just not.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's only one company that's out there really doing anything that's really anything decent, which would be Tesla.
And then now they have every other car company following.
Right. So now
it's the same, more of the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But and a lot of these are hybrids, but they're now trying to do it's like, bro, but it's been out for so long. That's why the military is ahead. And it shouldn't be that way. Why are we not all
there is an engine that runs off of urine.
Oh.
That came from some children in Ghana years ago.
Chris is crazy.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, just think about it. Just think about the most simplistic thing. I mean, we're not getting into anything crazy or metaphysical. You have solar energy, you have wind energy, you have electric energy. These are all very easy to harvest and obtain.
Yeah.
You could make a car that runs synergistically using these three energies and never have to worry about gas or even charging.
Well, why would you want to do that?
Exactly.
Imagine it ran on wind and solar, which you're driving it. You're creating the charge. Right, and then it's like a rubber band. It's just winding.
And then you have a battery that holds the charge, so you can start it if the sun's not there.
Right, at nighttime. I mean,
but that will not be a prominent thing unless
there's no money.
Unless the powers that be are the ones that are in control of it.
Yeah,
that they have some kind of hand in it and saying, hey, that's probably the main reason why the health field is so messed up.
Yeah,
because we're not the only ones who are aware of natural ways to heal the body.
Right, of course
things.
not.
Like, that would be egotistical to think that. There's Dr. Sabi. Think about that. And there's more in like everything that he's healed. Of course, if the powers that be, if they don't have a hand in it, they will not say that this can go. This will be, because it cuts into profit. Mm-hmm. If you take out a natural way of healing, you take away the medical field. If you think about a natural way of traveling, you kill the airports. You kill the car industry. You kill all of that.
It's a lot of money there.
You kill different jobs. Like, why do I need a mechanic to change oil when I don't have a car that runs on oil?
Right. Why do you need a mechanic when your car doesn't have a combustible engine?
Yeah.
The parts don't wear out.
So it's just like, we have all these great ideas. We have all these great inventions and everything, because everything that we already have on this earth is only thing that we're ever going to have. Because everything that we have here is everything that we use.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as new or creating new. We're just making use of everything that we have. And I don't see it. I would love for it to happen. Everyone, hey, I got an electric car. I have a solar panel. Hey, I got some rain. It's about to rain. Mm-hmm. Let's go collect some rain.
You better watch out with that.
It's
illegal someplace to collect rainwater.
So it's just like a lot of things that should be a necessity or should just be a norm within our day-to-day lives. No. It's not possible. That's why you have to get outside and do your own.
Even if you think about our dwelling units, like, we live in boxes. It is the most inefficient structure for withstanding wind, for circulating energy. It's literally the dumbest thing we could do. It's just like, let's look at all these shapes. We've got an octagon here. You've got a cone, a dome. Oh, can't do that.
Can't do that.
What about a rectangle? Yeah, that would be like, think about it. It's the dumbest thing. And when you look at ancient history, ancient structures and things, they use cones. They use domes. These are a lot of domes. Mm-hmm. I think, and I'm not a complete expert on it, but based on the research that I've done, I would be confident to say a dome is probably the best dwelling structure that we can create.
Interesting.
A dome. That's the football stadium.
The
circle over it. Okay.
Yeah.
The bubble.
Because just think about the way if you just think about how energy moves, like if y'all just understand how energy moves, why are our houses so inefficient? Heat rises, yet our heating unit, in this house, our heating unit is upstairs. heat rises. So you got to pump air downstairs to get the air down. Where does that even make sense? Even in just what? I'm so confused. Like, even in just the most smallest things, why would it be upstairs? You got to move. You move it down, push it down.
You'd want to. It would probably make more sense to start it down
at the very least,
leak or whatever the heat, and then it would naturally rise itself. And you can pump it up also.
You could pump it up also. You could even do heated floors. I mean, just a simple thing, heat the floors. You know how much that would cut back on energy costs if we just, I mean, even in the worst structures, you could do things that'd be smarter, and they just don't do it.
Which shape would you recommend the houses be?
Shape?
Yeah, like
that's what I just said, dome.
Dome? Yeah. Like every house be a dome?
Like if you looked at like some like Lord of the Rings type stuff.
I've never seen that.
Earth ships? No, you wouldn't know about that either. Just look it up, like maybe Earth ships or something like that. Because, it's an energetic thing more than anything else. We also have to consider. Look, we're not just talking about heating and cooling. Think about the air we breathe. Why is the air 9 times more toxic inside than it is outside? Especially understanding the car and the pollution and the methane, cows farting. Why is outside air 9 times better than the inside air? It's because we live in a box. And the energy is stagnant and everything has to move, right? Like water is the greatest representation of this. It just gives you a really good representation of how energy moves. Stagnant water, anybody, y'all know stagnant water, fleas are coming, gnats are coming, algae's growing, right? Everybody knows stagnant water is it's bad. The water dies. Everything has to move. The air has to move too. We wouldn't need these all of this elaborate equipment. It wouldn't be so expensive if we just created a structure where the air moved naturally. Even if you think about how the sun, the way that the sun travels in the sky, and if you just think about how you build your structure to be in harmony with nature, which is what our ancestors did, our houses would be so much more efficient. Nobody seems to care. Like nobody cares. You know, why we could dig into the earth where it's constantly cool, and there's also water down there too. We could dig into earth and we could pull cool air from the earth in the ground and cool our house instead of this AC unit, which is inefficient. Why wouldn't we just do that? Well, it's just stupid. Everything is stupid. It blows my mind. Like,
hey, Chris is snapping. Right
I don't.
Make Chris on the cover of this video.
I literally, when my mind be wanting to explode because I am not a genius, and I'm not a genius. I'm just a normal guy. I see these things and I think there's all these guys who are geniuses, these scientists and everybody, and it's just like, how they gotta know about this. So what's going on?
I'm sure they know, but I don't think that's what they want. Because if you fix the problems, you take away the solutions that they want to provide for you. They'll create that problem so they can provide you a solution. If you fix that solution, you know what I mean? They can't provide you the problem. And that's less money going in their pockets. That's less jobs. You know, you have to create a problem in order for someone to get paid to fix it. You know? I
don't think jobs has anything to do with it, though. I think y'all have both mentioned jobs. Jobs don't have, because think about it. What's a deer's job?
A who?
A deer.
Oh, you're talking about, okay. No. I'm not saying like, hey, jobs are important, but within this society, you know, because we're not meant to work. I mean, right. I get where you're going with that.
Right. We've created a society where a job is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So if we lived in a natural world, we wouldn't need jobs. You're still going to do work because we're created by nature. But we get to explore. We get to have fun. We get to raise our children. Like we get to, you know, build healthy relationships. We get to do all the stuff that's amazing about life. And don't have to go to a place because a boss tells you to come there and be with people that you don't like, you front for, right? Who talk stuff about you behind your back and all of the stress that comes along with that. We don't do all this commuting. We don't pollute the earth. There's so much that comes along with creating the modern society that is so detrimental to everything else in this world that's not us, including us. But it's like, why are we doing this?
If we didn't have, okay, so what would be the ideal solution then? Or not solution, but I guess lifestyle. since titles are created and jobs are created in a world that's not filtered or that's not convoluted with all these working forces, like what's the
You're gonna make you look like a socialist.
what's the insight? Is that how socialism?
Am I going to look like a socialist, Steve?
No, I mean that's what socialism is. Which is
it though?
right? Yeah, it's everybody. It's everybody just is equal. Everybody's on the same.
That's not
field. A doctor gets the same pay as a.
That's not what we're talking about.
Nah, we're not.
That's
talking
not what
about
we're talking
that.
about.
We're talking about because you're talking about doctors. We're trying to eliminate that because that's a particular.
I'm just
job title that they place.
Whether you eliminate them or not, I'm saying socialism is just putting everybody on an even playing field.
There's a major problem with socialism. Everybody's not equal.
Well, that's correct.
That's the problem.
That's what
socialism
what
within itself is a flaw.
Right.
That's what people would say. They think that they would think, oh, it's socialism, like, which is like no.
Oh, well,
same
then,
thing with communism, like no, like one person shouldn't be in charge of everything and just being a dictator, like. So there's somewhere in the between there. There's somewhere in the middle.
oh yeah, you know, people being
Authority figures over others.
No. People being able to be their own authority figure. Yeah. Like the problem is we've been fed this idea because of movies and TV shows that if people were just able to act on their own devices, we would be, people would be raping people and they'd be burning people down and shooting and killing and just taking everything.
Yeah, they give the most wild scenarios.
It's the wildest scenario.
If we were to be in our own devices versus thinking that we can't take care of ourselves.
Exactly. But yet when you go to civilizations that aren't modernized, that's not what it's not. It's not like that. It's not people just killing everybody and everybody's taking from each other and doing whatever they want. Because there are certain principles that are written on the heart of a human being that we're all born with, and whether we want to accept it or whatever, people say somebody has to manage this whole thing. No, they don't. That's just what you've been conditioned to believe. All you have ever seen. Think about all the movies. That's all you've ever been pumped. So you don't know any better. You just think, but yet. Like, come on, let's be honest. There's all these different animals. There's all these creatures in nature, and they all live in harmony. Yeah. We're not those animals. It doesn't matter. We're all created by the same thing. Whether you believe in Big Bang, God, or whatever, we're all created by the same thing. Why are we so different? It's only the conditioning. But if you take an animal out of nature and you put them in an environment, you'll see the sporadic behavior too. Right? You take gorillas and you put them in a zoo and you feed them gorilla food, like they do dog food, they'll get diabetes too because they're not eating their natural food. Like you could take any of these creatures out of their environment, manipulate them and get a similar result. So when they say, well, we're not those things, we can all be manipulated the same way.
Yeah. Yogi Bear, shout out to Yogi, shout out to Winnie the Pooh. You know what I mean? Rocking out there with no shirts,
Winnie the Pooh made no sense. He wore a shirt and had no bottoms.
He had a shirt with. Hey, Winnie the Pooh, low key, one of the most gangster Disney characters, man. He got the shirt with no pants on, eating all the honey. Dude be chilling, man. My dude been chilling. Interesting episode. We'll wrap with this one. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure y'all subscribe and follow the Instagram and all that stuff.
And the TikTok. We on TikTok now, too.
We definitely on TikTok. We on that TikTok. And,
what are we on TikTok?
We on TikTok.
What's our handle on TikTok, man?
Oh, Application and Knowledge. Or AOK Podcast. One of them.
Okay.
Actually,
we're not sure.
I can just go to the TikTok right now. Let's see.
TikTok. A ticket to the top.
Application and Knowledge.
There you go.
Bam. Application and Knowledge. We on there. I am Animated Males, Chris James and Stephen Michael. We will see you beautiful people later. Peace and love.